Hey, good evening, brothers and sisters, boys and girls. Diehard Six here. Hey, it's been a great week. Welcome to the Monday Mission Podcast. We're going to give you our little weekly update. We've got this great guest today. Oh man, a brother from another mother. We're going to be talking about some stuff. But first, let me get you a mission update, right? Bob Rush is officially open to in-person events now. Wow, what a great day that was. I have to say thank you to all of our volunteers, all of our patrons. Your hard work, dedication got us to that point. This Saturday, we had our first fellowship breakfast at Bob Rush. Again, the volunteers, the patrons make that possible. The good note on that one was we passed our initial health inspection, but now we had to have our follow-up where we prepared food and served food so they could see our processes, and we passed that. So that is just amazing. The people, volunteers just stepped right up into it. Okay, on that, y'all know that we're working on facilities, but we also do other things. Okay, I've said in the past, and I'll say it again, the veterans we help when they're ready to tell their story, they will. But until then, we need your help. We need you to come on board with the mission, volunteer, become that monthly patron. That's the only way we're going to grow. But let me show you now our current monthly quote-unquote events. Window, this one. I'm still working on the technology. All right, here we are. Come and break bread with heroes. We hold our fellowship breakfast. All are welcome to come, but veterans eat for free. Okay? Paducah, Kentucky, the first Wednesday of the month, 0700 to 0930, 2861 James Sanders Boulevard, the IHOP there in Paducah. Come on down. Meet with us, sit down, have a meal with a veteran, fellowship, talk. Brothers and sisters, come network. Last month we had 3 get appointments set so they could start getting their benefits. And I'm proud to say, McKanda, Illinois, Forward Operating Base Rush, the first Saturday of every month, 0800 to 1000 hours. That's at 189 Haven of Love Drive, McKanda, Illinois. Come and break bread with heroes. Come see where your donation goes. Come see the hard work all of our volunteers are doing. Remember, we are a faith-based, scripture-led veteran nonprofit where all the donations go to bring hope to veterans. And we work with the blessings that we receive. You can scan that code to become a patron, or you can go to projectdiehard.org, hit that donate button, and together we're going to save veterans' lives. That's the big uptake. We have started on our next phase. That is the 2 back bedrooms of the fob. I didn't get the graphic done in time, my apologies. But we got the 1 bathroom demoed down. And again, this is where your donation goes. We got people who tear it all out, but now we got to rebuild it. Our architect should have the final architectural drawing by the end of the week. And hopefully we'll get some video of that. Again, volunteer at projectdiehard.org. If you know how to video and you're in the McCanda area and you want to walk around and video, come on, bring it. Because I work with our people. You know that. I don't stand behind a camera and take pictures. I don't got time for that. But I guess that's how it is. Okay. We're still waiting on some commercials. But I think it's time that we bring in our guest, Matthew Mariner. Hello, brother. I didn't get your introduction ready, but hey, we're good.
How you
We've
doing,
been
sir?
talking with Matt for about 2 months now, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure, man. We work for a living. Okay. But he's with the Birdwell Foundation. They do great work out there in Texas. We've modeled some of our policies and procedures on what they're doing because, again, you take the best and you duplicate it. So, brother, tell all of our followers about yourself, who you are, your service, and why did you join the Birdwell?
Sure. For sure. I grew up actually Alvin, Texas, 30 minutes south of Houston. High school there. Played 5A school for football. I started my first year when the war kicked up. Jumped on, uh, yep, and went overseas. 4.5 tours in 4.5 years in the Navy. During that, saw a lot of death. Had people, had one actually. We were on the way back from a 9-month deployment. We were about to get home, happened to one of our ships, and we had to make a U-turn. And that wanted to send. He walked straight up flight deck and board, committed suicide.
Yeah, that's a big problem even on active duty.
Yeah, that's still. Yeah. So this is a big deal doing as a nonprofit, and specifically this podcast, getting into the masses. The more written word we do, the more we're out there, the better community gets together. Our veterans, first responders that end up getting PTSD from domestic violence, whatever. Getting that word out there and understand that people what trauma and what symptoms, spot it out and get them the help that they need here for, man. You know, and specifically for veterans, uniforms, but in everybody. And it, it so yeah, so that's
Your audio's coming in and out, brother.
oh, sorry about that.
It was a little bit now. It was getting worse, so that's why I brought it up. Your
Right now,
story is important. Still silent.
Yes, no.
it how does it say? You're coming in broken and distorted.
Okay. Give me 1 minute. Let me switch ear headphones.
Okay, that happens. That happens. Uh, Technical thing. Remember, we do this stuff live. This is a live feed, so it's hit and miss on what we get. Here we go.
Can you hear me?
Got you now.
Hear me now?
We got. We're good.
All right. You heard me say.
We got bits and pieces. Navy tours. Had a guy walk off the ship. Uh, yeah, and the importance of what we talk about all the time.
Right. Yeah. So let's talk from there. When I got back from the military, and saw lots of trauma at Houston, Texas. I ended up saving lives multiple times myself. Uh, I saw the evil in the world, all that stuff. And if y'all, it's an easy transition military to being a first responder. A lot of veterans end up going field, whether it's EMS, policing, nurses, because field medics, they end up being stuff like that because they know how to reaction. And everybody, you get out of that military field, jump into this new field, you still have to vet yourself. In the military, we have battle. Can you? I'm responsible for you. You're responsible. You lean on me. You see me drifting off. It's this way, brother. Keep each other on check. Always have that person that some people go home to family after they come. Some people come home that were in the military with them. For instance, I came home to my friends that were in the military, and two of my phone. I'm in Houston, which isn't that a daily communication. The same barracks, same everything. That can mess with. So was when you that feeling alone, right? You separate from your family because you don't want to you don't will hurt somebody's feelings. Military is not taken very well, right? Because they don't understand our crazy sense of humor. There's a lot of different things, man. People how to transition to the civilian side because it is a lot. There's books written about it, and if you don't know how, into depression and to alcoholism, drugs, addiction, different, very, very slippery slope. Little trauma as a first responder, and the only reason why I treat them, you're not getting caught of their life, right? The worst times of their lives, well, that you had in the military, and seeing more trauma on a nice, and if you don't to handle yourself, to have somebody or to have people talk to weekly basis, even a monthly basis, that stuff unloaded off of you. That kid that got sexually, that compacted, got cut off some kid's head, shooting that destroyed a child, that shooting really lady, that didn't go well. Lost the older dad, sat there and watched you try to help him. Like, all that adds up, and whenever you start first respond, getting the police called, all this little stuff, it's because built up. It's like a go water, and all the trauma, more water, or more water. If you don't steadily onto somebody else, to other people, even if your dad, as long as they're understandably, let it be another first responder that's been through it. That way, that's the biggest upside support person, because if a cup's going to overfill, spouse, or you're going to end up, and you're going to do something that is your life, and that's where a lot of in jail.
Yeah, that leads to a couple points of discussion on diehards then, because I got a lot of people. How come you don't help first responders? Well, we do, in a roundabout way. We specialize in the veteran, but yeah, most veterans go into the first responder field. I applaud firemen, police officers, right? Non-veteran ones that just step up, right? They serve just like everybody else. But I can't relate to them. Just like they can't relate to us, We can say, oh yeah, gruesome ambulance scene, but there's that difference.
That is very true. And foundation, I think, is we separated it very well, to where a 1-800 number, it's a tip line. It's if anybody's in crisis, veteran or friend, and we can immediately, who we're dealing with. Is it a veteran? And is it a veteran who's now a first, or is it a first responder? You see what I'm saying? And we can nationally that. So for instance, last week we had a guy call in. It was a first responder, got in a shooting, and talked to somebody. Well, I've been in multiple shootings, and I've taken life fit for him, right? I could understand the different, of taking a life. Period. He would eat people up. Just the guilt of taking a life. A better support him with that, right? The only difference is this is on land. This is on his soil. On his soil, this was done. 2 miles is his actual house. Area he patrols, in front of family member. It's it's coming in play whenever you're dealing with first element. But there are, you can attach it to actions and sit in on the same, learn different ways that they're going through by us as responder, right? Like that they can take from that and themselves with that, and that, and it works really good in group settings off everybody else because of that. Well, I couldn't either. Did you might want to try this? This helped me, right? It's amazing what they'll do whenever they're in a group set. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I get that. Right now, we have the facilities at Bob Rush. We're like saying, come on, use it. We got this great day room. Come on and use it. Come on, brothers, sisters, get together. You know, I we'll make sure the door's open, the heat's on. Come on, sit down, get a cup of coffee, talk. Right? That's part of our thing. Uh, yeah, this is again, folks.
As long as go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is why people, whether you support the Birdwell Foundation or you support Project Die Hard, we're all helping, right? Veterans. They took it on the mantle of first responders. And this is why we're talking about bringing their resources to us and our resources to them. There's stuff we got to work out, but this is teamwork. This is how we work together. There's not one organization that can do it all.
Right. And so with the Birdwell Foundation, we do bow hunters. Pure support for veterans. It's the main thing that we assist with. So I have a Camp Valor, for but we have had officers go through it, but geared for veterans. And it's from off the field, where they can go home after the house facility, and they learn how to deal with their symptoms to them. They understand what's, John Bailey is the man. This guy is awesome. He's an older cat, and actually in a last year in Vietnam, and this guy has had the Lord looking, and now he's pouring younger guys that are coming, and he's pouring in all the stuff that and he's just pouring in on, man. Our is awesome right now, man. These, again, food done for them, room and board, their meetings in there inside the camp. They have everything in there. It's great to see when they're broken and they're leaving it with a different mindset. That's their last hope.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's the whole premise.
It's like, oh man, yeah, oh yeah. I mean, what are we, right? And so much because it falls right in line with what we're doing, and especially there's a lot of people that say that out loud, and you can't get some kind of how that, but we don't care like that, and following the word, connecting the words, making it it does it does wonders when and give them in their head of what on this other side from the book.
Mm-hmm.
It switches their mind positive.
All right. So we heard from Matthew the Birdwell. We're getting transition now into we bring everybody back up, and then I gotta bring this question out for the day because this is something that hey, we're here to talk about issues. We're here to talk about it, and only together can we solve an issue. Um, I bring this up today because yesterday I got notified from a brother of mine, and this is a actual my age type combat brother, right? He just lost his son to the demon. His son was a veteran. Okay. So as the meetings I've had today, I've brought up this holiday spike is real, folks. It happens every year. Okay. So we rolled it out a couple weeks ago, and we're going to keep pushing it. But to my group, my question is this: why should people check their vet? That's the main one. The second one: what's your intake or your input on this? Why do you think every year that number spikes? And we will go ladies first with Susan.
Well, as far as why should we check our vets? I mean, what you just said when you sent that message this morning that you knew another person who has lost that battle. It just brings it back of why this mission is so important. There, I I, I struggle with understanding how it is that the numbers are what they are. I am not a vet. I know you guys were talking a bit about EMT, that whole emergency. I was an EMT for 10 years. So I get a lot of what, some of these topics that are hard to handle, I can relate to on a level, but on a different level, right? I don't have the same background that you guys have with having the military experience, but having the training and all those pieces. I feel like I have a feel for it more than some, and I struggle with this. I had a fellow EMT that back when I was an EMT, actually it was shortly after I retired from EMT world that he took his own life. And that, I mean, talk about really trying to wrap my head around an issue like this. I, honest to goodness, for as well as we knew him, had no idea that that was where he was. And that's where, yeah, check on the people, check your vet, check on people, because you don't know, you don't realize, and really that connection and being able to talk to them when they need it. Check on them. This holiday season is a tough time when people find themselves either alone or facing family that maybe there's things going on that again we don't know about, and they maybe don't want to have to deal with. There's whatever that is. Check on them, reach out and make that connection.
Yeah. So let's lead to part two. What is your input? Why do you think every year we get this spike in this number?
My take on it is that whole piece where you have to think about either you're alone, maybe you don't have family and friends that you can lean on and connect with during the holidays, and you're finding too much alone time. I know it's something that I've talked about before, where whose voice do you get to listen to the most? It's that one that's in your head. You're the whatever that voice is that's talking to you all the time. It might be positive, it might not be. I mean, we're our own worst critic all the time. And if you start going down a path in your mind where it's not a good one, that's where talking to somebody or somebody giving you that call or that text can pop you out of that, can remind you that, oh, okay, yeah, you got to get out of those thought cycles. They can be there. We've all been there at some level, and you gotta not allow yourself down that road. And easier said than done sometimes, right? So when you have too much time to just sit and think, that can be a problem. And taking time to volunteer, to do something different, that for me has been a big piece in my life. I get so much out of that. Like for on Thanksgiving, if you don't have somebody to connect with yourself, find a way to reach out and be the volunteer, and to be able to be of service to others, because that can make a massive difference. So
Yep.
I think it's just having that too much time to think and go the wrong direction in our own thoughts, that I think is a big piece.
Cool. Cool. You see, different takes, folks. This is why we do this podcast every week. All right, Jennifer, what's your answer to that 2-pointed question?
Well, my understanding as to why it takes a jump, a lot more suicidal, at least attempts, if not success, in the holiday season is because often it's at the end where a lot of us who have been putting off medical care need to get it in the last bit of the year, or we'll have to meet our deductible again. So, like for me, this season has been where I've had a lot of medical treatments or multiple years of surgeries that then cause the new year to start hard because I can't do whatever's my normal activities as a result of the limitations that come with surgery. And it could be different people that have different types of treatments, so we often put off all year long until at the end we've got to do it or we'll have to meet our deductible again. And then I know that other things cause the season of the holidays to be more difficult, whether it's incidences that are by accident or it's, say in my case, I lost 3 family members this year. So this will be my first Christmas without 3 different family members that I lost in just the first 6 months of the year. So that's going to be unique for me, is to be like, how will I go to this group family dinner or time out and not think about that dad that would have been there if it was a year ago, or the aunt or the uncle that were close relatives. So personally, I have to admit, yes, I was struggling with depression. Even a week ago, people could see a difference in me compared to where I took the initial step to say, I need to see my psychiatrist. I need to ask for help. And then I did what she said, which is taking action to take my medication in the new dosage that she prescribed and in obedience. And some people have this idea that even if they need medication, they won't take what has ingredients that they've never heard of. There's a stigma about taking psychiatric meds and other medications is putting bad toxins in our body. And it's the idea that because there's stuff we don't recognize, like, say, apples or whatever, that they're chemicals as opposed to something that has been researched over so long, has been proven to work. That's why insurance covers it. So there's different stigmas in addition to the trend of, like I said, with insurance and other things, like first time seeing times that you don't have those certain family members. But there's a lot of different causes as to why it spikes in this season.
Okay. So then our marketing thing of check your vet, how important is that?
Well, it's very important, especially for those of us who are not vets. And we are kind of the accountability partner of different vets. Like in my case, it's my little sister and her family. And she just this year took on a adopt a child thing where they sponsor the funding for expenses for a homeless girl. And so for her, that meant this year adding that daughter to who I give presents to. So that means with me, that's more financial stress, but it's also a warm welcome of, hey, a new family member. I want to meet you.
So family dynamic, families have changed, stressors, financial, all that stuff. That's a good reason for this, right? All right, brother. It's up to you now. Let's have this discussion. Why check your vet, and what's your input? Why this number spikes every year?
Yeah, and it's um, and but on explaining that, you did a really good job that I was gonna go over, and I want to um, yeah, that's the what will do that. It's because they feel to them, um, their brothers and sisters in arms with family members that they're with family members that have a kind of action. They're with don't understand what their head right now, and they don't want to piss anybody the wrong way, right? It's a big deal. Um, with COVID, we just had that that right there, veterans during that because, and now they're told that they they can't go outside things, and it's like, it shares their attention span, and they probably dove into that and drugs, and we have a lot of veterans that we attended to a lot of bad habits during that time. They couldn't do a lot of stuff. They're comparing their life. People meaning like, okay, my brother and sister are time with their family. You know, all I have are these when I was overseas, and they in their inside their head. You have to be aware of that, or out of that darkness proactively as a foundation, as a person. We have to understand who served, isolated, and we have to them and pull them out into the light. We have we go and get we're gonna create an event. What you want to do in it? You want to do the parking or show? What do you want? That you get veterans from the local VFW something, and we'll create our and the funds will go to veterans or to facilities that they're in, or wherever they want to donate to in the community. We adopt families. It might be a veteran family. We get the veterans involved in it. You're assigned for the girls. You're assigned to you're doing the toys. Purpose. They have a reason to live. They have a reason, plan of action for the next month, or whenever that, right? They have a plan. They're not waking up say, I, they're not waking up. They're waking up with a plan of action, and it's up to get together and make that. As let's face it, these guys are not right. They don't like doing as leaders of the community are that and are not our platform to I wrote in um the biggest thing is y'all nonprofit, y'all have a list of attend to, y'all take their names, phone numbers, so those lists gets that list for people a certain amount of days, proactively reach out in a couple months, reach out, retouch that days, and just because you never know, man. Some of them, you know, some of them will be back out again, you know, and the ones that are doing okay, you see what you just went. Let's duplicate that with somebody that's going through. Duplicate that. You somebody else through it. Cookouts. Just keep them serving others. So with me, I wrote a book, right? It was part of my healing. And that's another thing too. Styles of journaling. I'm writing a book. Journaling because it helps you track, and it helps you track your decline. And if one day, I look back, who did I talk to on this day? Okay, I did this, that. Right? It helps you form that thing in your mind, creates a pattern, right? And you just keep doing. The more you do it, the more it's in your mind. Books is good. Podcasting out there, helping other people. Tasks, getting your family, friends. You mentioned earlier, Jennifer, you lost family and friends. A good way to not. It's not going to get over this because your family's to you and wholeheartedly to help you over, because right now I know you're hurting. Family involved, right, is everything.
Well,
Right?
the good news is I have a large family. Just my little sister's spouse alone is over 200 family members. So, I mean,
Beautiful.
before you consider my other sister's spouse and our parents and all that, I mean, we've got my mom's family alone is over 100 family members. So, we've got plenty of support with a huge family.
Yeah. And you use that though, and I'm saying this because a lot of people and right, they don't want to be around family because of members that passed away. It doesn't have to be that way.
And that is a common struggle. That's a common struggle. But personally, I'm a social butterfly, which is why you see I help with the podcast with Project I Heard. I love being in front of cameras. I love socializing. I love being the center of attention, so I do public speaking and all that. But when it comes to my social life, I love just getting out there. Whether I'm going to the gym, I'm going to a coffee shop, I'm going to a store. I just love getting out there and socializing with the general public that I somehow interact with, whether it's waiting in line at the cash register or being in the same workout at the gym. We book the same one and happen to be in our spots that are next to each other or in front of the other. And that's just where my ever blooming social network is always growing. In addition to, I mean, a lot of us here, business owners and business people, we grow our company by networking. So it's another way to constantly be growing our social support system, whether it's business connections or it's personal level.
And if you look at it, we were that people would travel and hunt because we would support each other. Help you see maneuver helps. It's never try to isolate yourself away from.
Well,
I wanted
I think it's not just
to touch
staying
that.
with our pack, but letting our pack grow and adapting to changes. Because, like, if you were to talk to me now and after talking to me back before I had brain surgery, you'd realize, even as big as my social group was, I have no contact with any of those certain people. I have a whole new support system. And my new one is better fit for me because sometimes we get ourselves around people who aren't good for us. They pull us further down. So that's where you don't want to necessarily stay with your pack versus to grow, find better opportunities, and then kind of filter through to transition with time. Because at that time, I couldn't understand what was so unhealthy about those certain support people. And then now looking back, I'm like, how did I not see this? And so now I have a larger support system, but also there are actual people who are positive, encouraging, who have missions I can help with, and so much more that makes me feel valued, important, versus the others would typically drain me down because they would insult me based off the fact that I had mental health, that I was worthless and not worth living. And that's something I wonder if veterans struggle with because of the stigma to having mental health. It's so common to have those after being in service, whether it's PTSD that's so common, or it's depression, it's anxiety, it's paranoia or phobias. So many things can come out of such degrees of fear and dangerous experiences where your life is actually on the line. And you're not, say, over exaggerating a wreck in a car, right?
Okay, so what?
Hey, that's perfect that you brought that up because you react to situation. That's all it is. That situation, not everybody goes through. You're acting the way you're reacting.
Well, this is so true. Okay, my answer to these is pretty simple. Why check your vet? Because if you don't, you're wrong. But you know me, I'm the blunt up front guy, right? But the reason it's happening is these are great points, folks. These are great points. Listen to this. Check your vet. My thing is this: a veteran will self-isolate. We know this for a fact. Okay, that's what we do. We don't like crowds. Maybe because our last crowd, somebody blew themselves up in. We don't do those things. But to our brothers and sisters out there, when you go to your tribe, to your annual holiday party, don't get suckered into, oh, just have one drink. No, because that's going to lead you down to those dark thoughts. those dark thoughts because you don't want to go hang out with your family because they think you're messed up, it's going to lead you to another thoughts. And that's when the demons come in and they're going to really attack you. Okay, so don't do that. Okay, stay strong. Uh, don't give up this fight of life, brothers and sisters. I mean, I can't stress this enough. Uh, Another thing to our civilian counterparts. Yes, the holidays are busy, but if you were checking on your vet before Thanksgiving, why'd you stop? Why'd you stop? Was it the Christmas cookie baking? Was it the shopping? Was it the so life gets busy. I can tell you for a fact I got 7 veterans every day. They get keep going, brother. That's all they get. A text. Keep going. And I can tell you they appreciate those text messages more than anything else. So take the time to check your vet. I don't have a vet. Oh, yes, you do. There's one on every corner. Okay. You know, you swing the cat and you hit one of us. Find one. Find a vet to check. If you don't have a vet to check, find one. Reach out. Reach out to Matt. Reach out to me. Reach out to Jennifer. Reach out to Susan. Trust me, we know a few that would love to talk to you.
Veteran VFWs everywhere.
Yeah. Go find yourself a vet. Say, hey, good point. Our fellowship breakfast. Come say hi. Break bread with heroes. You might meet somebody you might hit it off with and go, wow, this guy's interesting or this girl is fantastic. I got to learn more about them. And then that interaction helps the veteran. Wow, amazing thing, isn't it, folks? I hope you've learned something here today, right? But this is real. This mission is real. This teamwork, this camaraderie is real. This is how we're going to solve this problem of veteran suicide, is by engaging, by talking, showing the veterans, showing my brothers and sisters, it's okay not to be okay. It is. We're different. We know this. But it's not weakness when you say, I need help. It's not.
So,
there you go.
I'm gonna quick. So old days, right? People would look if you said you had PTSD. You know, it was names, right? Shell shock, right? It was PTSD. Back then, guys would be like, oh, you know, older heads nowadays. Well, back in, I had my, let's say when I'm back in '07. Back in those days, back out there. We can't get back out there. And you're trying to serve this, just turn in, dying in front of you over and over. And you have this emotion going inside your head like nonstop. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to deal with. How it's going on. So then, you drink yourself to sleep. because you fall asleep because you have a movie and you want it to end out of you. So you drink, you self medicate, right? That's whenever you don't get that support. So now, written words, books, all now giving us awareness. Like, hey, look, people are killing themselves, right? So it's departments, it's making these fire departments open their eyes and say, we have to give these, right? There's something to that. The numbers are too big now. Oh, that we're helping these guys now. Now things are starting to turn to, oh no, you're just acting be, go tell you that anymore. But now we have stuff going on our, so you got to get them help first.
Matthew?
Putting a person back out in the street is not mentally is a liability.
Hey, Matthew.
And then let's get him on.
Matthew, we're at the end of our time. Can we invite you to come on again another Monday at the same time?
Oh, sure.
And we'd love to hear from Dan to continue what all you had to share. It was great stuff. Just ran out of time. And Brian?
Yeah, unfortunately, time is time, and we have to follow that clock. But we will have Matthew back on. Again, reach out, volunteer. Thank you again to all of our. Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna get one of those for.
It's on Amazon.
We're gonna get one of those for the library. But yeah, brothers and sisters, stay strong. Stay with us. Right? We need you. We need you. With that being said, keep us in your prayers. Keep sharing the mission. Thank you and God bless. Everybody say bye now.